Yo, what's good, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Winning Picks Weekly. My name is John Meleka. As always, I'm joined by my buddy, my co-host, my pal. You know what it is on this Knicks, Jets, etc. network. It's our video producer, Greg. What up, Greg?
What's going on, man? Happy to be here. Happy to get a little reset now that we had all our game sevens this weekend for NHL and NBA. So happy to get a little reset and talk to you guys about these picks for what's going to be an interesting NBA conference finals and what's going to be a pretty good NHL second round. So I'm excited, man.
Dude, it's only the second round, dude. I feel like I've been doing NHL playoffs for 3 months now. It's amazing the stress it's had.
Yep.
And as always, we're joined by, our co-host here, Chip Murphy. What up, man?
Co-host. I'm honored. Thanks, guys.
I mean, you're here, man. You're here every week.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Yeah. Also very excited about the NBA. That Bucks Celtics game was, amazing. But we're gonna get into Mavericks Suns.
All
later.
The game sevens were amazing in their own way. Honestly, every single NBA and NHL game was amazing. Just depends on what side of the spectrum you really want to talk about. But Chip, I know you're not the biggest NHL fan. I know that's been mostly me and Greg's talk here, but guys, I mean, I went through a religious experience. I was baptized by the Rangers this past week because yesterday I went to game 1, which is a triple overtime loss. It took 6 hours at the Garden on a weekday.
That feels like a month ago for that game.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I can't believe it's the first one. Like that game, the opening game, I spent as much as I spent at work that day, I spent at the Garden that day. And we lost. That was a tough one. And then game 2, won it back, but then it looked eerily like the Knicks-Hawks series where we blew 2 in a row. I was like, oh God, like it's over, right? Come back home, game 5, I had to be at the Garden. Nervous energy. We won it. It was a great game. And then I was like, okay, Pittsburgh's going to go win it in Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? Last dance, yada, yada, yada. Everyone's healthy. Crosby's going to play. In my head, I was like, yo, if we could win this one, it's going to be game 7 at the Garden. Like, I just kept saying that to myself. Even though I don't really, like, to be honest with you guys, like, I don't even know what that means. Game 7 at the Garden. You know, like, I know the allure of it, but, like, if we're being dead honest, dead serious here, I don't even know what that means. So I'm just, like, in my head, I just know home teams, you know, if you get the home field advantage for a reason. Game 7, dude, up 3-1. I asked you, Greg. I asked you last episode, should I take plus 500? You're like, don't be stupid. Just leave it alone. Your heart's already in it. I said, fine, no problem.
Yeah,
so we go in.
The Mavs instead, but either way, it worked out.
That's
no matter
true.
which way you went.
I listened to you in the 0-2. I listened to you on the wrong one on both, and I picked the stupid Suns because whatever. We'll get into the stupid Chris Paul. Anyway, they won game 6, go to game 7 at the Garden. I have pretty good seats. I can't even explain. I can't even explain the pandemonium at the Garden. The videos don't even do it justice, and like I've been rewatching those videos. They're pretty intense. Like my head's getting rubbed by strangers and kissed by randoms. The older guy next to me was absolutely hammered from the first puck drop. Like that's why it's such a great sport. Like NFL, yeah, but they're usually like this guy was like hammered but yelling, like paying attention. He was annoying a little bit, but we had such a good time, man. Shout out to Section 112. Like, if this somehow gets to anyone in Section 112 is today, like, we had such a good time together. But, dude, that Game 7. Oh, Game 7 at the Garden. I now know what that means, guys. Greg, did you tell me you didn't have the Penguins?
No. I had the Rangers. Okay. I had the Rangers in Game 7, but just money line. But, dude, to go to overtime, it was not looking good. It was
redemption from
game
1, bro. We talked about game 1. Like I literally got up and screamed that. Like the intermissions, especially in the playoffs, they get intimate. Like we're together. Like we get up, we're all talking. Like whoever's left that's not running to the bathroom with the insane men's lines or getting that last beer. Like we're all become friends. And like as soon as I got up, I was like talking with the family in front of me. I was like, yo, we need redemption. He was like, I was right here. Game 1. I was like, me too, man. I was like, and everyone started joining around. It's like we're all here. Like we just needed that redemption as a fan base, and honestly as a franchise. And dude, I was worried about the Rangers, of course. The way they won with the BS goal from the Penguins with the high stick that I don't have no idea on what planet that's a goal and why nobody wants to talk about it. The same player, Rodriguez, got his helmet off, which is how we scored on a power play. But our power play has been our bread and butter all season long, and we were 0-4 in the game on power plays. And I'll say -1 and 0-4 because they scored on us on our power play, bro.
Shorthanded, yeah.
That was so tough, man. Like, oh, dude, what a redemption game. I'm just reeling off, man. I've been fighting with Penguins fans on Twitter all day. Like, I'm hyped for round 2. Like, I am ready to go.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, I was nervous. We battled in that third period. We got our goal, but I was like, I don't know. They had so many more shots than us. I was like, yeah, we tied it up, which is great, but there was still 4 or 5 minutes left. Penguins came out. They looked good right after we scored, so I was getting a little nervous for us. Once we got to overtime, we got a little bit of a reset. And then when we got to power play, I was like, well, if it doesn't happen now, like, what are we going to do? Like, we've been to overtime so much. This series has gone on. Like I said, it feels like a month now. So the way we scored, too, like, I was watching the broadcast. We were texting. I mean, you're obviously at the game. But, like, watching the broadcast, watching the replays, like, you couldn't figure out what happened the first, like, 6 times you watched the goal. Because it goes in between 3 people. And all you just saw was just the reaction, everyone screaming, and I was like, oh, I couldn't believe it. Like, it was you're screaming at your TV, and you hear it in your video, too. Like, people are like, shoot it, just shoot the puck, please, because we needed something, and Panarin got it done. It was great.
Out of all people, he sucked this whole series, bro.
Yeah.
Even this game, he was horrible. And the fact that it was Panarin, but I'm so happy you said that about that shot. I watched the replay today maybe 65 times.
Yeah.
I still have no idea. Did it go under?
I think it went in between.
It went to the top right.
Yeah, that's what's so crazy about it. Is I think it went in between the Penguins player. I don't think it went through his legs. I think it went in between him and the goalie. But somehow it ended up in the goal.
The upper right.
Yeah.
It was, dude. It was insane.
I don't care. I don't care how it happened. I was happy that it happened. And oh my god,
I know this is a betting show.
Crazy series.
I know this is a betting show, so let me ask you this, which I was really curious about. During the game, were you paying attention to the live? Like what was the sentiment of Vegas? Like, were we supposed to win this game?
I wasn't. I don't think so. I think when they went up, I mean, they go up 3-2?
Like overtime. What was the line in overtime? I'm curious. Like, because I know we're home.
I didn't look because I was just watching the Mavs game, and I had money on the game already, so I was like, I'm not going to bet more. I'm sure when it was 3-2, I'm sure there was a chance to get it at plus a good amount of money. If you know what the live line was, let us know in the comments when you watch the video on YouTube. So I wish I bet it. Wish I bet
Igor had another ridiculous game, like to match his ridiculous season and not so amazing series. But like we're really back to the regular season. We won on the power play. Panarin, like Igor's back. Like I'm hyped with this momentum, and we are a betting show. Like. I know how I feel. Like, I'm a crazy person when it comes to my teams. Like, of course I want the Rangers to win this series.
Sure.
Of course I had them beating the Penguins. But, dude, I was at that regular season game versus the Hurricanes. That was a tough game, bro. Yeah. They're really good. Their goalie's good, but they're not, I mean, I'm not that they're still on their backup goalie and their net also. That's going to be the complaint when we beat them. Just let me ask you this, man. Am I stupid? We'll finish with the Rangers because I know I'm fanboying here, but like, there's been a lot of slander going on in the Spittin' Chicklets world with Paul Biz, with Ryan Whitney about the Rangers. Everyone's yelling about the Rangers and the stupid helmet rule, and nobody's talking about the damn high stick that same exact player scored, literally the period before. So, just tell me, man, am I stupid for taking these Rangers against the Hurricanes who have owned us all year? They owned us all year.
Yeah, they did, but we were in it. Like, we had a shot to win the division right up until last week when we played them in that last game, and I think that we knew that the chance of us winning that game and then winning out was low, so we didn't have our best effort. But no,
plus 160.
Plus 160. I'm taking them in a parlay. So I like.
What's your parlay? What's your parlay?
Parlay is going to be the Rangers.
Okay.
The Avalanche is minus 400. I think that's just a little sweetener to get the odds up a little bit. And then I kind of like the Edmonton Oilers. I wasn't too impressed with Calgary, even though that stadium is unbelievable.
Yes, dude.
That's the one thing too. If you're not used to watching hockey, you see some of these stadiums, it's like, oh my god. So that worries me a little bit. But Edmonton, the way they pulled it out, I think that they have the best player in the series, and it's kind of like with the NBA too. If you have the best player on your team, especially in a sport that's so reliant on skill, like the NBA and the NHL at this point, I think that Edmonton has a shot. They're also plus 160. So plus 160, plus 160 for the Rangers, minus 400 for the Avalanche. Gets me plus 745 at DraftKings. I'm putting a unit on that just to ride something out. I have something already in the NBA going. I won my second round bets in my NBA, so I'm happy with that. So let's get something going for hockey here. I didn't win anything really in the first round, so that's going to be my parlay in this round here for hockey.
All right, yeah. I think this time around I'm gonna start taking separate NHL and NBA series parlays because I nailed the NHL and I was completely wrong. The way the basketball series ended, but I'm blaming it on injuries. But that's neither here nor there. But just to wrap up my NHL parlay, obviously I'm taking the Rangers at plus 160. I agree with you on Avalanche. They were dominant. I think plus 400 is too much. If I'm being honest with you, I think they even might lose a game, and that's going to drop a little bit.
Yeah.
So, but I am also going to take it. I just don't trust the Blues. The Wild Blues series was weird, dude. I do think that they're going to take them far, though. Right? So I might kind of just take like Blues in 6 just separately here.
Blues in 6 or Avalanche in 6?
No, the Blues, like the Blues, just like a backup, just like the Blues in 6 or the Blues, because I don't think they come back to the Avalanche and beat them in 7. So let's just like leave it at 6, like somehow, some way. I don't know.
Yeah,
I know
the
it's
Blues
crazy.
are pretty good. I mean, they went on a run. They won their Stanley Cup a year or two ago. I forget now how long ago it was.
I like the Wild, and then the Blues just. I'm not. You know when you're watching a team like you bet on them, you like them, and then you're just like, yo, the other team is just so good. I felt like that all series.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm kind of afraid of the Blues.
Yeah, hockey also has this weird thing with like seeding and stuff like that. So I think the Blues and the Wild were like two of the better teams in the playoffs, and they had to play each other in the first round, which the NHL has to figure that out because it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah, I don't love the minus 400, but just in the spirit of I have to take a parlay here, taking the Rangers, the Avalanche, I'm gonna go with Calgary, dude. Their stadium is sick, but also the Oilers really did not impress me. I'm surprised that was your take. Dude, the Kings stunk all year. They stunk in this playoffs, and they almost won the series. It was an overtime game 7, and like the Oilers had their backs to the wall for a while. Calgary did. I was nervous about Calgary until the last second. They also had a tough one with Dallas. Dallas breaks my heart usually, the Stars. So I'm gonna go with Calgary. But last thing before we got to get Chip in here, I know he's dying to talk about the NBA. The last series I want to just mention because I have the Lightning over the Panthers. So my 4 team is at plus 1,115. So I'm gonna put a unit on that. I'm gonna just chill on that and see what happens. But dude, the Panthers supposed to be this great team. They did not impress me, and we didn't even mention the insane 7-game series between the Lightning and the Leafs. But I mean, how can you not take the Lightning, man? The defending champs at plus 145.
Yeah, I mean the reason why I'm staying away from this series is because again the Panthers, they went on that crazy run at the end of the season to win. I don't know what's called in hockey, with the President's Trophy or whatever, the regular season winner. They're the best team in the regular season. There's some crazy stats out there that, like, the team that's been the best team in the regular season, like, hasn't won a Stanley Cup in, like, 20 years or 12 years, whatever it is. So that's something to keep in mind. And then Tampa Bay, the reason why I stay away from them is because they've won it twice in the last 2 or 3 years. So, they've played a ton of hockey, this team, and they came out a little lethargic in the first round. They ended up getting it done. The reason why Tampa Bay, like, I had the stat about not losing back-to-back games. Also, the Toronto Maple Leafs just can't get out of the first round. So that was like written from the beginning. So,
but see that stat that you said that you just like kind of slipped in there with the don't lose 2 games in a row.
Yeah, they don't.
I mean how can I not take them at plus money then for the series? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, because the Panthers might win 4-3. So I mean, you could hedge it out that way
fine.
too.
Yeah, exactly. If it's going to game 7 and I got it at plus money, I'm chilling.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So that's what I'm going with there. Any last words? Oh man, I needed to get something out, some Rangers energy out, man, some pent up energy. But anything else on hockey before we get out of here?
I'm just surprised at how long a lot of these series went, and then the the Avalanche just won it, I think, in 4. So,
Yeah, they're the only sweep.
Yeah, and then if you look at these odds in the next round, they're minus 400, where everyone else is in the 200s, 100s range. So it seems like they're head and shoulders the better team. It seems like Vegas thinks that for sure. So
That's an overcorrection. It's an
Yeah.
overcorrection, in my opinion. You to your exact point. There's so much going on in hockey, dude. Everything's going 7. The Blues could easily win one game. This is going to become like minus 250, plus 125 in no time.
yeah,
you know, like
you.
plus
So, I mean,
220.
it's the old rest versus rust, whatever
Yeah.
it comes down to. So I'm excited to see that play out. I think Avalanche handle the Blues, though, in this round.
Dude, I might take 2. I might take 2 parlays with the Avalanche on one and the Blues on the other. It jumps up to 3,800 if I take the Blues instead.
Yeah.
I might
Yeah.
just do that.
And they're
I might
still a
just
pretty
do
good
that.
team this season. It's not like they're
Yeah.
chumps,
Yeah. All right. Speaking of chumps,
Speaking of chumps.
there's some chumps out in Phoenix, man, when they play basketball, allegedly. But the Phoenix Suns, I'm so happy I did not watch 1 minute of this game because I was dying in Madison Square Garden. I was just kept checking the score on my phone, and I promise you, with no hyperbole, I thought my app wasn't working. And then I got a text that said 27-27 at halftime, but it meant Luka versus the Suns.
Yeah.
So then I looked again on my app and I was like, dude, why does this thing say 27-27, this headline? And I got a text and then it says, but it's 47-27. And I was so confused as to what was going on because of how bad the Suns were and just did not show up in game 7. Looks like they're going to blow up the team. DeAndre Ayton not coming back for sure. Chris Paul injured as usual.
Always.
Greg, I mean, you had this from the beginning, but I gotta get Chip's inquiry here because, dude, Chris Paul, your boy.
Yeah, Devin Booker had a rough night, man.
Top
We have
5
our
point
own-
guard. Top 5 point guard all time.
We have our Ryan
Yeah.
Russillo here. We have our own version of Ryan Russillo here.
He's-
be nice to
he's-
Chip. Hashtag be nice to Chip.
He's absolutely a top 5 point guard of all time. I'm still saying that.
Dude, if you have him over Isaiah Thomas, we might have to mute you for the rest of the show.
Okay, mute me for the rest of the show
Oh
then.
my
Oh,
god.
Isaiah Thomas, Magic Johnson, John Stockton.
Oh my
You never
God.
saw Isaiah Thomas play. You never even saw him play.
Still pretty good, though.
Come on, but look, they had a ridiculous game, and I don't know, in a long trend of brutal performances for him, and it's impossible to defend what happened in that game. So it was rough. It's impossible to call it anything other than a gag, a choke, whatever you want to call it, whatever you like calling that. To lose like that at home, to score 27 points in the first half when you were the best team all season long, it's one of the worst losses I've ever seen watching sports. And you said you couldn't believe it when you got the text. I was watching it. I couldn't believe it. It was insane.
It was crazy. I was watching it, too, and it was unbelievable. I mean, just while I was watching it, too, like, I don't know, I have some stuff in front of my TV over here, so, like, I can't really see the score. So I'm watching the Rangers on my phone, and I look at the ESPN app. I'm like, wait, I'm watching the game. It doesn't feel like the Mavs are killing this team, but they were just putting it on them. They just weren't missing, and the Suns just couldn't get it going on offense. And choking is one thing, but
Not showing up is another.
not showing
I
up
was just
and
gonna
having
say.
no effort, just no energy, no like, holy crap, this is game 7. Like, it was
Chris Paul
weird.
game 7, bro.
At home too, like
Yeah,
in front
but
of your home fans.
He usually
The
doesn't
center
play
fights
bad.
with
They
Monty Williams, the
he
coach of the
doesn't-
year candidate.
He doesn't play bad. They usually just lose. His numbers aren't horrendous. Like his
Well,
player numbers are.
come on. He usually plays bad, and then we have to think about his foot and his ankle and his wrist and his ear and everything.
I don't think it. Oh, because that Mark Spears had that tweet about how he was hurt. I'm not
Every
making
does bad.
excuses for him injury wise. Look, he's an older player. He's 37 years old. And
That's crazy when you say it out loud.
yeah, and it's crazy that he's been he's had one of the most impressive careers longevity wise in the NBA. He's been very good for all this time.
Did
At
he lead
this
the league in
point,
assists?
Hmm?
Did he lead the league in assists this year? I'm pretty sure.
again, he did. Yeah, I think it was
I
him,
mean,
and
it's
then
pretty-
I think it
it's
was
pretty
him and then
impressive.
Harder. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's
But
look,
not Isaiah Thomas impressive, but you know,
well, it's
impressive.
more
Pretty
impressive.
impressive. Top 10 impressive.
More impressive.
Dude, Michael Jordan used to go to sleep
I mean,
thinking about
Chris
Isaiah
Paul
Thomas,
never had to.
bro.
Chris Paul never had to punch anyone in the face to defend them. So
That's
Chris
true.
Paul never had to. Chris Paul punches everyone.
According to Pat Beverly, punches everyone, never gets a call for it. So
punches people in the balls, punches people during
kicks
the
a lot of
game.
people, yeah.
Oh, the Pat Beverly stuff that he was saying on ESPN, how he had that locked and loaded for like
Incredible.
I mean,
5 years, ready to
We
go.
watch Chris Paul punch people in the balls, whether in college or in the NBA.
Oh yeah,
we
he
literally
did
have
that in
seen
college. Yeah, he
it.
did.
And the NBA, like it literally, and then he punches his own teammates. Like it was a Blake Griffin or DeAndre were trying to get a rebound or something.
I'm not saying he's a monk. I'm just saying he's not Isaiah Thomas.
But
I don't know.
To me,
Michael Jordan literally used to go to sleep thinking about Isaiah Thomas. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, he didn't.
What do you mean? He literally admitted that all he thought about was the Detroit Pistons and trying to beat them.
Well,
Nobody's thinking about that with Chris Paul.
He thought about beating.
Name me one player in the
Pistons.
NBA. Name me one player in the NBA that goes to sleep thinking, "Oh my God, I'm not going to beat Chris Paul in this series."
I don't think Michael Jordan was thinking I can't beat Isaiah Thomas though. I think he was thinking it was the Pistons. Yeah, it was the Pistons, not Isaiah Thomas. Michael Jordan would never admit openly anyway about Isaiah Thomas that he didn't think he could beat him. But no, yeah, I mean, shout out to Macri too, who called the Suns thing a mile away and said that they didn't have a superstar or whatever on his podcast. He was saying that all year.
I still disagree, but yeah.
Yeah,
I think Devin Booker's a
with the
superstar.
Booker, calling Booker a superstar,
Yeah.
right? Well, he didn't play like it.
We throw the superstar thing around a lot lately.
But dude, he was double triple
took
team.
the words
right?
right out of my mouth there, and yeah, but you double triple teamed, like you're a superstar. You're supposed to be able to win a game anyway when that happens.
Jason
That's
Tatum
what
was getting
superstars do.
Double teamed. He scored 46.
Jason Tatum, yeah, I mean, and Milwaukee's defense is fantastic. So
I just want to stick on the Suns though for a little bit. Not necessarily the Suns, but as bad as the Suns were in that game, Luka was just that impressive. I mean, I always agreed that Luka was a rising star. I think he's like top 5 guy in the league, maybe top 3 guy in the league right now. I mean, he's gonna show up when it matters, and you still can't stop it. To me, that's the definition of a superstar. So, like, when people say, oh, Devin Booker's a superstar, Trae Young's a superstar, all these guys are superstars, Luka Doncic, when the game's on the line, has an unbelievable stat line, like, average-wise for his career, and then he just shows up and does it again every time. I mean, it's incredible to watch, and the way he does it with ease, the way he does it, and gets his guys involved. I mean, Dinwiddie had an amazing game. Our guy Brunson had a good game, and then I don't know if you guys saw at the end of the game, someone fell into him when he was like hugging Mark Cuban. I was like, come on, that's supposed to be the Knicks guy. Like, what are you doing? We need him healthy. So, as bad as the Suns were, the Mavericks, I think overall were very impressive. Not just last night, but in this series. So, very happy with my bets. Very happy that they got it done. Don't know how I feel about them going into the next round. So we'll see about that.
you don't know how you feel about Dallas against Golden State.
Against Golden State, I mean, again, I don't think that anyone's going to stop Luka, but
It's going to be interesting how they defend Luka. Are they just going to put Draymond on him, I guess?
But can Draymond at this point? I mean, maybe he can slow down Luka, but no one's going to stop him. So.
No one, you can't stop Luka. I mean, the Celtics had the best defense in the NBA. They couldn't stop Giannis. He dominated for 6.5 games. Yeah, and then he finally wore out.
That's insane too. If you're watching that game, I mean, we can jump to that if we want to, but I'm excited for these Western Conference Finals.
I think Luka and by the way, to your point earlier, I think Luka and Giannis are the 2 best players now. I think they solidified themselves as those guys.
Yeah, I think Giannis is definitely number 1, and then conversation in that 2 to 5 spot for different people between Kevin Durant, Luka, LeBron James when he's healthy. I don't know who your 5 would be, but
Yeah. I mean, look, Luka is again, it's gonna be the favorite to win MVP next year. So that'll be fun. The 3rd straight year favorite to win MVP. And a bunch of people will bet money on him.
it's crazy. So I mean, right now the Mavs are plus 185 to win the series. Are we taking the Mavs against the Warriors? Should I hedge out my parlay a little bit here? Or should I just let it rock?
So it's who's home? Golden State, right?
Golden State.
Yeah, they're the higher seed. Yeah. Again, Dallas I think was a play-in team. Didn't have Luka to start, and now look at where they're at.
Yeah.
So remember Brunson took over. Are we taking Dallas in 6, or does it have to go 7 because it's a conference finals?
Ooh, Dallas in 6.
Dallas in 7 is plus 700.
I like that. I like that way more than Dallas to win the season. What's Dallas at 6?
Plus 500.
So yeah, okay. So I would rather take both of those.
Yeah, half a unit on each.
Than touch plus 185 because that's way too low for me. 185 is way too low. What's Warriors in 7?
300.
I like that. I like all 3 of those bets.
Warriors in 6 is plus 450. It's more likely that they win in 7 than they do in 6.
100%. They're not winning in Dallas. Dallas is a force, but also at the same time, no one has beat anyone in Golden State so far in this playoffs. But it feels like Luka's the one, man. I mean, Luka is definitely the Dallas Mavericks, as we know, they're a home team, role players, and so were the Suns. That's why I was shocked about what happened there.
All right, so I'm going to hedge out my pick with the Mavs to win in 7, the Mavs to win in 6. John, are you taking anything for the series?
I'm going to take both of those, and I'm going to take Warriors in 7. Chip, what do you got?
I'm gonna take the Warriors for sure. I'm not betting against Steph.
Warriors are so whack. I hate that everyone thinks they're really good. I really do. It really
They are really good.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
Yeah, I'm gonna take them in 6 though. I'm gonna take plus 450.
I like that.
I don't. Yuck. All right, so that about wraps up the Western Conference talk. I know we have some bets here that we just ended off in, but do you guys think the champion's going to come from the West? Or is the champion going to come from this Eastern Conference that we're about to talk about right now?
I think the Warriors are going to win.
Jesus Christ.
I do too.
Oh, my God. I don't know what you guys see. Steph's not the same. Clay's not the same. He had a good game 6. Jordan Poole, he's okay sometimes.
He's okay sometimes?
Yeah, did he come through at the end of that series? Like he was just there. He was really
won
good.
It.
I know they won the game, but he wasn't that impressive. He was impressive in the beginning of the series, and then at the end, Clay came through game 6. Game 6, Clay. Steph is really not that hasn't been that impressive, but he did knock down some buckets, at the end there. I don't know. Memphis gave them fits without Ja Morant. Like, were we just gonna forget about that? Like. Fits.
Memphis plays really well with or without Ja Morant.
I was going to say, there's some stats out there saying they might be better without Ja Morant.
Nah, they're not. They're
definitely not. They're definitely not.
Yeah, I'm sure the Mavs have stats.
Don't let Chris Persianen onto this podcast. Throw that propaganda out there.
Yeah, that's a tough one. All right. I kind of like Dallas, and I'm really hoping shout out to my boy Mikey who put this in my head. Before the game 7s, he's like, dude, I smell a weird rivalry happening, the weirdest rivalry in the NBA, the Miami Heat versus the Dallas Mavericks. Like this, they just keep meeting each other in the NBA finals, and he's like, I think this is going to be another one where it's kind of like the Dirk lookalike too, like with the Luka stuff, right? And then you have the Heat, which is like supposed to be this, this team culture, like it's the same thing, like over and over, just like different players here.
There's once a decade we're gonna get the Heat versus the Mavs.
Yeah,
the Mavs like have the best player, but the Heat are gonna have the best team, kind of thing.
That's what it looks like, man. And I don't know if that's because it's what I'm hoping for, because at the end of the day, if you want me to be honest, I don't know. I think that Boston Celtics are the better team. I know that sounds crazy because the Heat were the top seed and they got through their series easier. But the Celtics, their numbers don't lie, man. What does that show? with Jamel Hill and Michael Smith.
Yep.
Numbers never lie,
I think
dude.
so.
Since January, they've been the most efficient offense and defensive team. Doesn't matter who's on the court. Smart off the court, Williams off the court, the other Williams off the court. Doesn't matter. Jaylen Brown having a bad game, even Tatum having a bad game. Like Tatum didn't play that great. He killed Game 6 when they needed him the most in Milwaukee, but he didn't. I mean, it's gonna be a really good series. I think that Boston's a better team. There's no heart here because I hate both Miami and Boston. But I think it's going to be Miami-Dallas, man. I like that.
Miami-Dallas, wow. You really think Dallas is going from playing all the way to the finals?
Well, to be honest with you, dude, there's nothing impressive about this Warriors team. I don't know if it's because I've seen the Warriors play really well, and so everybody jumps to the conclusion that, oh, it's the same Warriors again, but they're not. Like, Steph is just not as good. He did have a last game. If he could play like he did last game throughout the whole series, no problem. But he just hasn't been doing that. He's been pretty inconsistent, and he's going to have an offseason surgery, and we're going to talk about an injury. And then we're going to have Klay Thompson, who's been not playing really well until the Game 6. And then we're going to say, oh, it's because he had a miraculous comeback. All right? And then it's going to say Jordan Poole. He played really well. He's been doing really well, but dude, he flamed out. Like, it's okay. He's going to be better next year. Like, all these narratives just sound so easy to me. And without that, what's this team really been? Like, they all just have their different games, but I don't think you can do that versus Luka. To be honest with you,
one guy. He's one guy.
Is he though? Because Max Kleber, I know it's a stupid name, but he's been on fire. Dinwiddie and Brunson are tough to guard. Like, is it a matchup problem for the Warriors? Like, they match up with them. You know what I mean? Like, the whole issue is Powell can't guard a center. Well, guess what? Doesn't have to. Like, the whole issue is Kleber can't guard a center. Guess what? Doesn't have to. You know what I mean? So I think there's going to be a lot of home wins in this series, a lot of three-pointers at home, a lot of fans jumping up and down, and I think that we're going to fluctuate. It's going to be like, when it's in Golden State, it's going to be like, dude, Dallas doesn't stand a chance. So when it's in Dallas, it's going to be like, wow, Dallas is really good. Look at home. And then we're going to have the game 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7 to decide it here. So that's why I thought that the game 6, game 7 bets were good. I know we're still on the West, but I don't know. That's my feeling here. They're just not that impressive to me, dude. The person that's been really impressive to me this playoffs, Jason Tatum, impressive. Luka, impressive. Celtics defense, impressive. Miami Heat, I don't know. I want you guys to talk to me.
Little. The Heat are so boring. I care so little about them.
Really? You find them boring?
Yeah.
I find them very interesting, actually, and very intriguing because every day on the Miami Heat, and not with any other team, it's everybody on this team sucks. That's the narrative. Whether it's Duncan Robinson, whether it's Jimmy Butler, whether it's Bam, he takes shots, whether it's Harrow. And then the next, very, very next game, it's Tyler Harrow's amazing. He's being an all-star. Duncan, he deserves all the money. Butler, we should double max him and give him, a piece of the Sixers franchise. So, like, I'm very confused, honestly, with the Heat. Very inconsistent from the number 1 seed, even though they had an easy series. I'm conflicted about the Eastern Conference, guys. Talk to me.
I mean, Jimmy Butler's a superstar. That's their guy.
Throwing it out there again, Greg.
No, I think with him, it's legit.
Yeah, I think he is. I think he's. I think Luka at this point might be the best player in the series in the Western Conference. I think Jimmy Butler's the best player in the series in the Eastern Conference. So I don't think that
better than Tatum?
I think so. Just because he's been able to do it. He might not have the ceiling of like a 40 or 50 point game, but then again, he might. I mean, Jimmy Butler just plays with such an edge and such a hate in his heart that I love to see because he takes everything personally. And he's just out to prove people wrong. And I don't really know what there is left to prove wrong with him. I think he's had an amazing career. I think he's a top 15, 10 player in the league right now. So,
does he have a ring? No.
I don't think he has a ring. But
No.
So that could be it. But still, he was in the Eastern Conference Finals. He was in the representing the
The
East
NBA finals.
in the NBA
Yeah.
finals 2 years
In the
ago,
bubble.
right? In the bubble. So
The fake finals.
Yeah.
The Mickey Mouse finals.
yeah, it still
I love
counts in the
that.
stat sheet, but
I love the Mickey Mouse ring.
yeah. So I really do think what I'm hoping is going to play out, and the reason why I have the Warriors and the Heat is the Dallas Mavericks might be the hotter team right now. The Boston Celtics might be the hotter team right now. You said something, John, about the Heat or the Warriors just kind of being like a little boring, or the Heat, maybe Chip said that, or just being a little boring or whatever.
Yeah, Chip thinks the Heat are boring, but that's the last thing I hear about Miami, the culture, the up and down. That's
I just
the last thing
hate
ever
them.
hear.
I just hate them.
I think
hate
in this, what I'm hoping happens, and that's why I have them in a parlay, is that the boring teams have the better coach, and they're boring for a reason. So I think the better coach teams, the Golden State in the West, the Heat in the East, the more boring teams, again, the Heat in the East, Warriors in the West, I think there's a reason why they play that way. I think they're just more experienced. They know what it takes to get it done. And I just think there's a shot that both these guys pull it out. I think it's definitely going to be... I'm surprised at the odds right now in the East. I'm surprised that Boston's such a heavy favorite. I thought it was going to be much more closer to a coin flip for the series betting. But the Heat have home court. The Celtics are running high right now. I don't know, man. I like the Heat a lot right now. It's kind of making me a little nervous.
In how many games? What's a lot?
Heat in 5, Heat in 6.
Holy
Eating
crap.
5?
I am
Yeah.
not. Damn, that's wild.
You win your 2 games at home, you win 1 on the road, you have a shot to close it out in 5, right?
I don't think it's possible for the Heat to win in Boston.
I think
Winning in Boston in the playoffs with this team is tough. Like, they play defense really well. They get crazy offensive fouls. They get crazy crashing on the boards on the offense. And then they have players like Grant Williams who could hit 7 threes in the Garden, or Al Horford, or any of these guys, or Tatum could drop 45. Like that stuff, it means a lot in the playoffs. You know, I'm all about the role players at home. But with this Boston team, with the defense at home, and defense travels. To be honest with you, Chip, I feel the opposite about your boring team. I feel like the Celtics are boring. And I know like we're all just saying the teams are boring now, but the Celtics they play defense, get offensive boards, and Grant Williams hits 3-pointers. I mean, like, what's worse than that? You know what I mean?
I think Jason Tatum's electric.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah, and also too, I don't think that the Heat, like, I think the Bucks play a certain style of defense and offense that when it works amazing. When it doesn't work, it exposes you. So I don't think the Heat really play like that, where they're gonna be pot committed to one style of play. I think that they're gonna take it, they're gonna adjust. Spoelstra's gonna have them ready to play, and they're not gonna get Grant Williams for 20, 30 points or whatever it was. Like, that's not going to happen against the Heat in this series.
I have a dumb NBA question for you guys. I already gave Chip the Isaiah Thomas one, but let me ask another dumb one. If Middleton is playing, does the Bucks win?
Yeah.
Okay. Absolutely. That's the thing. That's why I think the Boston Celtics are good. But to Chip's point, the reason why they won the series is because Giannis was literally gassed in the back half of that game. I mean, he was missing wide open layups, and he's the best player in the league. It's because he had to do so much to get them there that you can't, if you have your second best player taking some of the load the whole series, then Giannis is good to go. I think the Celtics win that series, so that's why I'm not too high on them. The Heat have looked pretty convincing. Granted, it was against the Embiid list for most of the part, 76ers, but they did what they needed to do,
bro. It's Doc Rivers and James Harden. How hard can it be?
Yeah, that's another thing. How we don't know how good the Heat are. They just curb stomped James Harden, and Embiid his face was broken. But
the Heat in 5 and 6 is plus 850, Greg.
I don't hate that. I already have them to win the series in a parlay, so I'm probably not going to take it, but something to take a look at. What do they play on Wednesday, or do they play tomorrow? They play Tuesday.
I feel like the NBA is off for so many days, and then when I watch the NHL, to kind of circle us back here, I feel that it's warranted when people make fun of the NBA. Like when hockey fans make fun of the NBA, NHL is every other day. They don't give a damn. It's a first round. We don't care every other day. What was it? At one point, the Warriors were off for like 6 days, right? They were up nuts.
Yeah, so I mean, Boston plays Tuesday night at 8:30, so they play tomorrow. They just won in a crazy game yesterday on Sunday, so they have to get to Miami. They have to get ready and game plan.
They're gonna win game two.
Maybe Miami's been rested. Miami's been ready to go. I don't know. I think that if you're gonna bet Boston for the series, wait for these home games to play out. Maybe it's 1-1. Maybe it's 0-2. You're going back to Boston, and then you're going to get a plus money instead of laying. Was it minus 185 right now for the series bet? That's what I would do if I'm thinking about betting on Boston.
It's really the same thing with the Warriors. I don't know. Dallas could win, I guess, game one. But I feel like it's the same thing with the Warriors and Dallas, then, right? If the Warriors are going to win game one.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay. I might hold off on putting the Mavericks bets in. But those are more of a hedge anyway.
Yeah.
So.
No.
Okay. Honestly, with that talk, I'm gonna take Miami. My pick is Miami Heat in 7 plus 390 because that's gonna be at home. But I'm also gonna take the Celtics in 7 at plus 500 instead of just taking the series total game 7 for plus 190, which is disgustingly low. I'm gonna take both of those at plus 390 and plus 500. Just hopefully go 7. That's all I'm gonna put. Even though Celtics in 6 is juicy as hell. Plus 265. If they lose a game, maybe it'll jump up to like plus 500. Like you said, I don't mind that.
I like that the Heat have better odds in Game 7 than the Celtics. They're plus 390 to win Game 7. Home. Yeah, because they're home. But still, I mean, I like that.
You know what? So based on, I'm gonna go with the Greg. I mean, I sucked in the last round of the NBA playoffs. So I'm willing to change up the strategy. So what I'm gonna do for this series is I'm gonna take right now Miami Heat because I think they're gonna win game 1. So I'm gonna take Miami Heat in 7 at plus 390 and Miami Heat in 6 at plus 850. As soon as they win game 1, I'm gonna take the Celtics in 7, and maybe if I'm feeling frisky, I'll take them in 6. And that way I'll have obviously plus money, but it'll be like. The worst will be plus 390, but it'll average up from there on my 4 bets. I think that's my strategy here. Let's change it up, man. I need to win in the NBA. I've been winning the NHL, which is great, but I need to win the NBA, man. It's getting to the finals. I gotta win.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that too because I need to win that too. I miss college sports. It's getting bad.
Chip, you're gonna be really happy about something. I've been throwing in some crazy parlays, and I've been throwing in Duke Championship just to get that plus 1,000.
Oh boy!
Just so you know. Off topic. Just so you know.
It would be fitting now. I mean, for them to win in K's first year gone.
That'd be so funny.
It's gonna be glorious. All right, what are you guys' bets? Final bets for the series?
For Heat Miami. Celtics.
Yep.
I think the Celtics are going to win the series. So I like Celtics in 7. How about that?
Okay.
Plus 500.
Not bad.
7's plus 500.
Listen, man, we could have got plus 500 on the Rangers in 7. Killing it.
I think I'm going to watch the Rangers game. I haven't watched a hockey game in I don't even know how long. And I grew up going to New
Jersey Devils. Ugh.
Like I haven't watched a Devils game in forever, but I'm gonna watch the Rangers game because it's at 7:00 on Wednesday, right? So it's before the basketball. So I'm gonna watch the Rangers on Wednesday. Perfect. So I can talk about it too. At least watch it. I can talk about it.
If we win in Carolina, if we steal one, I'm gonna go absolutely nuts.
What seed are the Rangers ahead of Carolina or
no? We're not gonna host another game 7 for the rest of the series.
Oh,
the rest of the conference.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what happens in the West, but I doubt we'd host one there too. But we'll see. Yeah, we're dogs for the rest of the series, but we have the best goalie on the planet, so we'll see what happens. Moving on to a sport that you do know most about here, Chip. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that. Yelling about Jordan Spieth on a random Monday.
That was just
I'm
such
just like, I'm
just a
screaming about the
completely
Rangers. This guy's like Jordan Spieth. I'm like,
completely
what?
random tweet. Yeah, like completely random tweet, but I was like, I gotta tweet this. I just because I know I know the PGA Championship is this week. Yeah, and Jordan Spieth is, I believe, plus. Oh no, now he's plus 1,800, but he was plus 1,600. Him and Rory, and I just read an article about how well he's playing and how he's ready going into. And we talked at going into the tournament, and we talked before the Masters how every time there's a major, everybody picks two people, Spieth and JT, Justin Thomas. And I can't wait to read. I hope we do another episode. If we do another one before the tournament starts or whenever, to talk about how I put money on Jordan Spieth, or the Action Network ridiculous articles like, oh, you should take Jordan Spieth. This is the tournament he breaks out of his slump. Like, no, it's not. It's not. This is not going to be the tournament he breaks out of his slump. He's going to play awesome golf at some point, but he's not going to put 4 good rounds together. And then Rory McIlroy is going to play really well when there's no pressure on him, like the Masters. And he was like 8 under on Sunday, which was the biggest tease ever because it didn't matter at all. But I don't know. But all that said, I'll probably bet on one of them because now that I'm talking this much about him, if one of them wins and I didn't bet on him, how stupid am I going to feel?
What about T Woods, man?
Oh, God, of course I'm going to bet on him. Yeah.
To win?
Plus 7,500 to win.
To win? Well, I don't know about that yet, but I'm definitely going to bet some top 5, top 10, top 20. Top 20.
I'm gonna go. I'm switching it up. I want to hear Greg's thoughts here because I'm learning on the fly when it comes to golf betting. Really, the last Masters was the first one I really bet on. I was watching hardcore with the website and all that stuff.
The best one, yeah.
It got me on. It got me on. So now I'm on. Right? You can't bet parlays for top 20, 40 in DraftKings, but you can on FanDuel. So make sure you're there. And
it's so lame with the parlays. They got to get with it, man.
I agree. So I'm looking at the 20s, and again, I go by names I know. Again, cautiously now, a little more. No more VJ Singh. No more VJ Singh. A little more cautiously now, and I'm gonna be really cautious actually. So I'm gonna go, and I want Greg. I need your take on this whole golf tournament. All these guys.
Sure.
But I'm gonna go with the most chalk thing I could possibly do. I'm going with the top 6 favorites to finish in the 20. So Rahm, Scheffler, Thomas, Morikawa, McIlroy, and Spieth, and Dustin Johnson. Let's throw in your boy. Okay. And then I'm going to take for a top 40. I'm going to throw in Koepka, Woods, and Homa. Is that okay? Like, does any of that sound like VJ Singh to you guys? Should I throw Jason Day in the top 40? I'm going to throw Jason Day in the top 40.
Day's an interesting one.
Okay, Homa and Woods. So if I do that, that's $10 to win. Oh, holy shit. $10,000 to win $7,500. Am I insane? Well, just tell me who to take out. I'm open. I'm open here. I got no thoughts.
With golf. That's the thing with golf is you don't know who to take out. You just know someone's gonna have a bad round at some point.
That's what I was just gonna say. I was gonna say somebody at those 6 guys you picked in the top 20. One of those guys may miss the cut because they may just not vibe well with the course or something.
I can't get a top 20.
I don't know. Look at the Masters, man. Like John Rahm just had a terrible tournament.
Like, at least he made the cut for me, but
I can't believe he's the favorite again.
I know that's kind of crazy. To Chip's point, Rory McIlroy wasn't even in it, but then all of a sudden he lit it up on Sunday, got into that top 10 finish for me. So you never know with these guys. I'm going just straight up winners. I'm just doing a half unit on everyone, and I'm going Scotty Scheffler plus 1,200, Colin Morikawa plus 1,900, and my guy Will Zalatoris plus 3,200.
Really?
Classic. He's been okay. He's been in the news lately. I feel
By the
good.
way,
He did it for me on the Masters.
Yeah.
what'd you say Zalatoris, the winner, is at?
Plus 3,200 on
He's
Fit.
30. He's 35 on DraftKings.
All right, so
Zalatoris.
shop your lines, ladies and gents.
Yeah. On golf, especially shop your lines because they're all out of whack from FanDuel, DraftKings, Barstool. Those are the only ones I use, but
Yeah, you
they
just got me
change.
$150 if you win, so I appreciate it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you always gotta, especially shop your parlays where DraftKings just doesn't have them. I'm going through now. No, I'm gonna stay away from the bottom players. I'm just not gonna take anyone on the bottom. I think we're good here. I'll throw Willie Z up in here with you, Greg. Now we just jumped it up to 13,000. All right,
There you
$10
go.
to win 13,000. Just
You got
because
Max
your boy.
Homa in there? You think he's going to make the cut?
Come on, yeah, dude. I got him in the 40.
He's playing good, but
In the 40. In
You
the
never
40. I'm
know.
not asking for a ring here.
last time we saw Tiger at the Masters, he was limping around at the end of the tournament, you know.
I got him
Yeah.
top 40, bro. You just gotta have like two good games, 2 good days.
On Thursday and Friday, so he doesn't miss the cut. That's the trick.
I know, but I feel like once they make the cut, like the 40 is there, like the top 40 is there, and then we're really just battling for the 20. So this is a basic. There's no cut at this point. There's no cut parlays, so that's why I'm going. The 40 is my cut in my
there
brain.
was, I didn't see any make the cut stuff.
Yeah.
No make the cut props. That's the Masters is the Super Bowl of golf betting. That's
Yeah.
where they have.
Oh.
Yeah.
I got you.
Everything,
They had
yeah.
they had everything on the
didn't realize
Masters
that.
betting. Yeah.
I've been spoiled. All right, so I like this. I like this $10 to win 13K. I'm also taking Scheffler because when I'm watching him, it makes my heart happy. Honestly, he plays so good. I don't know anything about golf, I admit it, but watching him, I don't know. He's really good. The eye test, I'm taking him. Anything else on golf?
No, let's hit some of these long things to give us some ammo for this NHL and NBA finals.
Yep.
All right, man. That leaves really one thing here, and that is our daily baseball talk.
Ooh.
Because let me first do this, Greg. What's the update on the bet against list?
Bet against list. Cincinnati's off. Cincinnati's been playing pretty good. And I think
Cincinnati off the bet against list. Ever since Bleacher Report put out the Reds lose every game, all of a sudden they've been winning series.
everyone got too hip.
Yeah.
Everyone got too hip to the scene. I mean, I think I said that in my last episode that Cincinnati has been playing pretty good. So what's tough right now with baseball is a lot of the bottom teams, it's like with anything, like a lot of the bottom teams have kind of been playing okay. So I haven't really been betting too much on betting against. I mean, Washington for me is pretty much a bet against just because I think they really are the worst team in baseball. But for me, it's
Let's
been
hope.
a lot of...
I bet them to have the worst record. So,
Okay.
Did you really?
Yeah,
What's that at?
I got to look it up, but I got pretty good because Pittsburgh and Cincinnati were the favorites, and I think someone was ahead of them too. They were not the favorites to have the worst record. So it's
Look, we're teasing the NFL schedule. It's come out. We're gonna do a full NFL episode. But my favorite bets, and you could ask Greg, my favorite bets are the worst bets in football. the worst record in football. So I cannot wait for that one. It's not out on FanDuel yet. The only weird ones they have is any team to go 0-17 or 17-0. It's nonsense. But yeah, that's a big one for baseball. I love that, man. I usually would take the Mets, right, Greg?
Oh yeah, you want to light your money on fire every year? Sure, go ahead. But I mean, it's just little things. Like I think I've talked about it all season, but like the Pirates at home are pretty good, and the Pirates on the road are pretty bad. They got smoked by the Cubs today, so that was a winner for me. Oakland's another team that's amazing at home. I think they might be the best. I'm sorry, on the road.
I was about to say, dude, they're home. Not only are they bad
they're
at
the
home, but now
worst.
there's rats in their reporters' room. Apparently, like the Coliseum is falling apart, bro.
Yeah, it really is. So they literally, it's like I don't know how often this happens, but they have the best run line spread as an away team, and they have the worst at home. So if you just bet them when they're on the road, and you bet against them when they're home, you're making money hand over fist right now. So little things like that. I don't really have too much of a just. Except for like Washington right now, bet against. I bet the Mets every day. They've come down to earth a little bit. I bet the Yankees every day. They've been doing pretty good.
I have now come back down to earth,
So-
baby. Let's go. We are flying on a different planet right
that Rangers series will cost me a little bit of money, but
now.
you know,
Well, we should be betting on the Cy Young, on Nestor Cortez. Do we have any prop bets for Cy Young? Because where's Nesty at,
Nestor.
bro?
I haven't seen any of that yet.
Because I don't know what's going on with these Yankees, man. It's unbelievable. I've never had such a stress-free spring. Like, I don't know, like we're in New York City spring right now. Hasn't hit the summer. I've never been this stress-free with even the 14 home run A-Rod April. I was stressed out. Like, this has been unbelievable. Even Gallows murdering, Stanton's all over it. Judge on a contract year. The pitching is unbelievable. The bullpen's great, and we're deodorizing the Chapman issue. Like, he still stinks back there. We still have the best bullpen in the league. We have the highest paid worst closer. It's nuts. I mean, it's really nuts what's going on with these Yankees. Personally, I love this Yankees team. So, Greg, I'm going to end the show on this. Are you ready?
You got 3 of the top 5 guys for home runs right now. I mean, I'm sweating. I didn't bet any of the Yankees for my home run season winners, and you guys are crushing it. So
I got Judge as MVP. Yeah, right after the contract stuff fell apart, I said to my dad, I'm like, he is going to mash. Like,
I'm so happy. I'm so happy you said that, Chip. That's been literally, if I could like wear that on my chest, was like Aaron Judge on a contract year.
Yeah.
Like, everyone was crying about it. I was so happy about it. The worst case scenario is we're gonna have to pay this guy way too much money. Great.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not a salary cap sport. Who cares? Why do
Please.
so many people care that this guy's going to get paid?
Give him $600 million if he wins the World Series. I don't give a damn. Win the World Series. And Greg, I was gonna say this is how I want to end this episode. It's May 16th. Are you ready? Are you ready for the Subway Series?
always
Are you ready for it?
locked and loaded.
Every 22 years,
2 best
we have a
teams
Subway
in baseball.
Series. Chip, you're gonna have to moderate.
I'm very excited. I'm very excited for the Subway Series.
We're literally
time in
gonna
a
fight
long
episode
time.
by episode. That happens. So
We'll have to do like live streams or something. We'll have to figure something out because
Yeah.
it's gonna
Listen,
be.
man.
It would be brutal.
Yankees, if the Yankees and Mets are real teams, if the Rangers keep advancing, my wallet, everything is good.
What's gonna make me nervous is it's just gonna get me so excited for the Jet season. I'll be like, all right, New York sports is back. Let's get this going. Bet everything.
Bro. Let me say this right now. If the Jets actually beat Green Bay in Lambeau Field, I'm gonna be so grateful because I know they're gonna lose so bad. Everyone's gonna make fun of me for going to Lambeau and coming back on the flight, whatever, wasting a weekend, a loss. I know it's coming. I know the loss is coming. But speaking of New York sports, speaking of elation, if we could just win that game. Like, I took the flight home from London on the loss. We're talking about New York sports. Just give me the win in Lambeau, bro. I'm going to Green Bay, Wisconsin for the damn weekend. Please.
Beating Aaron. I hate Aaron. He's the worst, Aaron Rodgers. I just don't like him too. He's.
We are on a tangent. You
I
said
need
New
to
York
list
sports.
the Chips like top 10 hated
Yes.
franchises or players.
There's not a lot, but we touched on the Heat. We touched on Aaron Rodgers. Like, there's not many more than that.
Okay.
Like, I guess the Celtics too. Yeah. Like, but Aaron Rodgers.
You know what's funny, Chip? I was thinking, because almost every single series in basketball, it's always, oh my God, this is tough for Knicks fans. And then I started looking at it. There's only like 6 teams in the whole Eastern Conference that wouldn't be tough. Like, think about it, like the Heat, the Celtics, the 76ers, the Nets, like the Hawks. That's 5 teams right there that if any of them are in a series, we have to hate them. Who else is left? Like the Wizards? Like in the Pistons? Like in now we have to hate the Hornets too. Yeah, Raptors, like it's an iffy, right? Maybe the division, like we don't know. Like it's just like as Knicks fans, we are taught to hate everyone. So like
Yeah.
I feel you on that. The Lakers. Like at West, like everyone, we have to hate the Dallas Mavericks, but I'm so happy KP's not. Can we just talk about that? I'm sorry, I know I said that a million times.
Oh, that they're gonna go to the finals maybe without
The lack of
Porzingis.
KP and the addition of Frank Nicolina, like Oh my god! Like everyone's making fun of me in my look at Frank getting real minutes. Haha, Knicks stink. I'm like, oh my god, look at Frank getting real minutes. Like, I'm so happy. Do you have any parting thoughts on that? Because I know you hate KP.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's on the list.
Yeah.
That's on the list, Greg. I know that.
He's. I mean, he's on everyone's.
Because I'm interested. Yeah.
He's on everyone's list, isn't he? No,
I don't know.
I honestly, I'm at this point, I'm completely ambivalent towards him. I don't even hate him anymore. I'm like that with the Nets too. To be honest, I'm ambivalent towards both of them. I don't like.
We need to have a therapy session with Alex and you because the man hates the Nets.
Yeah, I know he does. I know. I just don't understand. Like I'm from Jersey, so I grew up going to New Jersey Nets games too. My dad had tickets, so it's different for me. Like I still see them as the New Jersey Nets. I don't even think about them as the Brooklyn Nets. Totally different for me.
Yeah, I mean, I used to watch them there too. I watched the Bobcats. Emeka Okafor like almost ate my arm. Shaq on the Suns.
He was so
times.
goddamn. He
Nash.
was so goddamn good in college. He was
when you
so
want to
much
go
fun
see
to watch.
when you want to go see players play and not pay garden fees, you go watch Nets games.
Yeah,
that's why they like them.
Yeah,
that's why. Yeah, that's why my dad had Nets tickets instead of Knicks tickets. Yeah, they were very cheap. Yeah, but yeah, as far as KP goes, I really just don't care about him anymore. Like he's just an irrelevant player now.
On the purgatory list, Greg. Got that?
Forever.
He's an irrelevant guy. And I'm very happy for Frank. Like he's good for him, man. Good for him.
Frank. All right. So we all have Heat, Dallas.
Warriors, Heat.
No.
I know.
I think Chip's got Boston.
I know.
Nice try.
All right. That's a good place to end it. You guys know where to find us. YouTube, Knicks Jets, etc. at Chip Murphy 9.
7.
7. Damn.
Lucky number 7.
Like Mellow. Lucky number 7.
Mellow. Is that why we have it at 7?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow. All right. Learn things every day.
Mm-hmm.
Chip Murphy 7. Catch Greg, our video producer. He's on the Winning Picks Weekly. He's on the Knicks Jets, etc. He's the dumb gambling brain.
Oh yeah.
He's all of it. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let us know what you got. Let us know why I'm dumb and can't get an NBA series right. And let's go.
Comment on the video who's winning these conferences in the NBA. I need to know.
Yeah, I mean everyone's following Chip's betting on Twitter. Let us know what you guys got.
Good luck. Yeah.
That's a true gambler right there.
Yeah. I mean, he's on Chris Paul. He's got it. Next year's his year.